definitely work on releasing the pelvis, and that'll be kind of the biggest help in terms of long-term adjusting of the spine. And if you do have anything specific as we're going along, any specific needs or requests, don't be afraid to ask any questions. You're welcome to chat with me at any time, during the practice. I'll bring this back here so it's not quite as loud for me. Okay, here we go. So I made these beautiful mandala mats. These mats help define the space. It's also nice to have the sacred geometry inspire the movements. So we're going to use this to help us find the alignment. Okay, and the poses. We want the center of the mat to be directly underneath our plumb line, which is going to be our vertical axes. And you'll kind of get used to me using this language. And we just want to find that pillar. And that pillar represents the same pathway that aligns our spine. So we want to imagine this pillar growing up from our feet all the way through the center axes of the body. And so I work with this vertical axis or vertical alignment quite a bit. And then we get to spin on axes. So every movement that we make is around this pillar. Now, most people are constantly looking down or pushing the pelvis forward, all of that, right? So when we start to find this pillar in our body, it's so much easier to move around that and along that. So you'll hear me talking quite often about finding your pillar or finding your vertical axes. Now there's also a horizontal axis that we will work on. My background's in physics, by the way, so you'll get a lot of physics infused into the teaching. So that's why I'm always like, well, you gotta be on axes. You're like, what? So it's just like your car. Your car has like a horizontal axis, and that's how the wheels turn. So sometimes we'll work with our vertical, and sometimes we'll work with these horizontal planes, right? So on our mat, we're always gonna have 12 o'clock forward, like a clock. 12 o'clock is going to be forward. 9 and 3 are going to be out to the sides. And then obviously 6 is straight back behind you, right? Cool. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a stickler for alignment, so feel free to adjust. I like you already. Details. So you'll hear me talk about 9 and 3 and 12, and then 6 is right behind us. So front is always forward, because when we're upside down, it gets really confusing, because then front looks like back. But we're always making 12 o'clock our front, right? So we can keep our alignment in space. And now when we work with the clock, there's also going to be 10 and 2. You'll hear me talking about 10 and 2. And 10 and 2 just happens to be where these points are, right? You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, so that's 9 and 3, so 10 and 2 is right here, approximately. So we're going to use the alignment of the mat to help inform the space and inspire the movement. So they're actually really important. And then we're going to go over the equipment together. We're going to reach up and hold on to wherever is comfortable, and we can adjust everything to make sure it's the perfect height for you. We have the daisy chains coming down from the ceiling. I did name everything, so I like it when people use the same names. Sometimes people call them straps, and that's okay too. But for us all to know what we're talking about, we should all use the same names. Everyone renames things. I'm like, let's just use the names I use. So the handholds are the things that are attached to the carabiners. Okay, and the same carabiner holds the main swing. So we call this a swing, not a sling, not a hammock, not anything else, a swing. Okay, the main swing. And then the whole set comes with a pair of leg loops. And the reason why I changed the branding to the AerialYogaPlay, the AYRx, is because this practice is somewhere in between aerial yoga and TRX, because TRX uses these straps and different things that you can do exercises with. So the leg loops and handholds can be used by themselves. And then the main swing looks similar to a hammock, but it's really stretchy. Right? And it's a kind of like we're blend, so it's a totally different piece of equipment. It's kind of like how football is called football when it's soccer, and then American football is way different. That's how I describe it. Like, this used to be called football, and then when aerial yoga became a thing, when it was actually soccer, I named it AerialX. So AerialX is kind of the new branding. But it's not a huge big deal. It's just nice to know that it's a totally different piece of equipment. Some people, if you call it aerial yoga and they come to class, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't the aerial yoga I've experienced in the past, right? So we want to just be aware that this is actually an AYRx yoga swing. So that's the branding for it. And so we want to get comfortable with our feet in the center of the mat and just noticing the stretch. Because that's the first thing people have to get comfortable with, is like that level of trust, right? Because it is really different. And once the swing is behind our back, we're going to start a little bit differently today. We're just going to walk our feet out hip distance, clasp your hands behind the back of the head. Feet are going to stay at the center of the mat, and we're just going to gently rock from side to side, maybe with straight legs or maybe bending one knee at a time. But just know that this is called chillaxing arms, when my hands are interlaced behind the back of the head, right where the skull inserts, the spine inserts into the skull, and just allow yourself to sway. Now this gentle swing from side to side I call weeping willow.
And is the strap,
The swing?
The swing?
Yeah.
Underneath your shoulder blades?
It's underneath the shoulder blades, directly behind the sternum. I usually say right behind the heart, but some people don't know where their heart is. Or it's behind the heart chakra, right? And so it's the energetic heart, not the one that's like up in the left quadrant. That everyone thinks the heart is all the way up here. But it's okay. We're just going to go, the sternum is where the swing is directly behind. It's the upper thoracic. But it is right below the tips of the shoulder blades at the same time. And it is really important to find the sweet spot. I call it the sweet spot. There's a place where it feels more comfortable than others. If it's too low, it's going to flare out the ribs. If it's too high, then it pinches the underarms. So there's kind of a band right there behind the sternum that feels really good. Does that feel like a better spot?
Mm-hmm.
You notice? Mm-hmm. So this is a good way to begin for somebody to get comfortable with the swing. And so this is one position of the arms. The other position of the arms, I call it diamond. So you're going to push your hands into the swing strongly, your forearms, and then make a diamond with your hands, right? I love playing with sacred geometry, and you can kind of get the swing into a good spot before we slide in. But making a diamond with the arms and pushing your forearms forward is going to create a lock. So we don't actually want the swing to pinch the underarms. You won't last very long hanging by the armpits, right? So this is our first hook. Then we slide our feet to the front of the mat. Once the feet are at 12 o'clock, yeah, you can slide right in. We can walk them out to 10 and 2. So see if you can find your 10 and 2 position, working with the geometry. Good. And then the toes are right at the edges of the mat. So see if that feels good. Yeah. Good. I'm going to let my mat shift just slightly. Yeah. Again, the alignment really makes a difference. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother emphasizing it so much. So what we're wanting to do is open up the spine in a way that allows for symmetry. Now, most people, everybody has a dominant side, right? Everybody has a dominant hand. People are coming in with all kinds of torques and twists in the body. But if we use the alignment principles of the swing, it'll start to smooth out all of those twists and torques and rough edges. Mm-hmm. So our hands are pressing forward so that we lift our chest. So we always have this dynamic tension of the chest lifting, but the hips dropping. So we have the body moving in two opposite directions, right? Feet are turned out about 45 degrees. And then we're just rocking. So I like to call these like belly dancing moves, where you just kind of let your pelvis tilt from side to side, keeping the upper body, that's it, exactly as is, knees open, and just see what that feels like. So just even getting in the swing and doing tiny little movements like this, that's perfect. Just feels really good. And you'll notice that most people's pelvises are pretty locked up. Mm-hmm. So since you do some belly dancing, it's already loosened up for you, but most people will move like a little bit of a block. And we want to encourage them to find the twists, right, at the edges. And then keeping the pubic bone tucked under, so the pubic bone is pointing down and back to deepen in the hip flexors. That allows the pelvis to loosen up. So the other way, back towards the back wall. Your pelvis, yeah, that way. Isn't that different? Yeah. Most people are pushing their pelvis forward, and we want to drop our pelvis back and down. Good. Now when it does ride up, see how the swing is touching the armpits? That's when you know to press back. We're going to do that same position where you get up below the shoulder blades, come back into chillaxing arms. You can give it a little hop too. Our feet are out a little bit wider now at 10 and 2. You can walk them a little bit wider. Let the feet be wider. There you go. That's it. And then we have a little bit more sway. So I like to push straight back and then bend one knee and then the other knee. And just let yourself explore the space. So we do a lot of wiggling in the swing. I call it swag. So we got a little bit more swag. You're just going to use the momentum of the swing from side to side to open up. Let it feel good. And we're starting out nice and slow because we basically want to get like an 80-year-old into the swing and be able to do a sumo squat and a supported back bend. Mm-hmm. So number one is really for everyone, right? Especially because it really opens up the heart. It's going to start to reverse the poor posturing that everybody has where they're all rounded in from sitting and driving and computer work, and it just feels so nice to have the lower back completely neutral. Can you feel how the lower back is happy here? Mm-hmm. There's no strain on the lower back. The arch is coming from the upper thoracic spine, or that place right behind the heart. Beautiful. All right, so make sure you come back to center. Swing is going to be nice and low, and then back to our diamond arms, forearm press. And keep pressing forward so it doesn't ride up this time because we want it to kind of hook the wings. Does that make sense? So press forward really strong. There you go, but drop your hips. See how yeah, even more. Drop, 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 drop. There you go. That's it. So I call it dynamic tension where your body's moving in two opposite directions. So what that is doing is stretching the spine and creating space for the vertebrae. Like all that kind of stickiness that lives along the waist and the lower back gets to open. Really good. Okay, so let's add some twists. Let's walk our feet out to 9 and 3, a little bit wider. We're just gonna do some side to side. Okay, let's all go to the left. This left, there you go. Press straight back like a semicircle and then bend the right knee. That's it, real low lunges. Press straight back, bend the left. Beautiful, and back. To the right, good. Inhale, press back, let's add some breath. Exhale, drop it in. Drop in even more, let your pelvis drop. That's it, keep the legs straight, right leg straight. Press straight back, inhale. Exhale to the right. Really drop the pelvis, right? So from here, pelvis drops as you bend the left knee. Real low, that's it. Totally different, right? Press straight back. To the right. So that's it, just side lunges, right? Going back and forth, maybe pulse at the edges and really drop the pelvis even more there. Yeah, it's like such a deeper stretch than our traditional yoga lunges. Okay, press straight back. Let's open it up. Big back bend, stretch, stretch, stretch. Open the arms wide, I call it jazz hands. Shake the hands out, shake, 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 shake. Make sure the swing feels like it's in a good spot. Come on back to your forearm press. Okay, now from our really wide sumo, we're going to just walk our feet back to center, 12 o'clock. We're going to drop our pelvis and wiggle a little bit from side to side and add some twists. So just even this feels really good, right? Just rolling your feet from side to side. I have a new twist I'm going to share with you. I'm always adding more material, and if I added it all, the teacher training would be like a week long. So I try to kind of pick and choose, right? But what we're gonna do is plant our left foot down, take our right foot and shoot it out to 9 and 3. Yeah, and straighten it out. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Now we're gonna keep walking our left toes over to 1 o'clock. Yeah, there you go. And we're just pointing the knee in that direction. We can inhale, kind of pulse and lift the hips. Exhale, drop. Yeah, we have to have strong arms here. So arms are relaxed and lower body, arms are engaged, but the lower body completely relaxes. So this is a version of our side twist. Kind of intense, right? So good. Now drop the left knee, right? Drop the left knee down, the right knee, pardon me. Yeah, and then we're gonna twist with our upper body and look towards the window. So press your arms, stay low, yeah. Press your arms towards the window and then pulse back towards me. Just let it come from the upper body. Pulse towards me. Look at me. This way. Yeah. Hi. And then we press, press, press into the swing and twist with the upper body. So we're kind of strengthening and twisting at the same time. Good. Press, press, press towards the windows and then back to center. Okay, good. So we're going to unfurl. Let's walk our feet back over to 12 o'clock. Just get there. Take a moment to reset the spine. Feet together at 12 o'clock. Hands into chillaxin arms. Interlaced, sway it up a little bit. Weeping willow. Oh, just let that feel good. Straight legs if you can, but you're welcome to play with it. I give people lots of time to play in the poses because maybe they're feeling some other expression or they're feeling creative. So I'm going to give them lots of time to experience their body in a new way. Okay, come on back to center. Inhale, open the arms wide. Exhale, forearm press. Beautiful, Jade. Let's go ahead and plant the right foot down. The left leg is going to shoot underneath and out to 9 and 3. Good. And then I can walk right foot over to 11 o'clock. Yes. Good. And I flex the toes back on the left foot. You got it. And then I'm going to drop my hips straight down towards the center of the mat. Yeah, there you go. So if you come towards the center of the mat more, you can walk your foot towards me. Yeah, wiggle it. There you go. And now we use that axis, so we're making sure we're on alignment, you know, aligning the spine. We can play with lifting, coming out of it, and then dropping. There's lots of different variations we can do here. We can twist our knee towards 10 o'clock a little bit more. That changes things, right? There's lots of different ways to play here, but we're opening up the side body and the obliques and the ribs and all that stickiness that lives along the iliac crest. This is one of the reasons why people have lower back pain, because they have so much congestion and compression in there. So the space that we're opening up here is tremendous for healing lower back pain. Obviously, you can feel the ripping, burning, tearing sensation is all the connective tissue and fascia, which we get into when we learn more about the AYRx, is the different body systems, the body parts. But I always like to throw in these little cues and seeds so you kind of get why I chose the poses in a specific order and how they're working the body. Okay, and then we're going to drop the left knee down towards the center of the mat, and then I just keep my toes tucked under so for support, and then I'm going to walk my right foot over to 9 and 3. On that axis, and then I'm going to turn towards the wall. So it's really strong on my arms. I'm going to press, press, press towards the wall, and then it's kind of like a rubber band. You're going to buoyantly bounce back towards me, towards center. Yeah, drop in a little bit more. Drop your hips spread out. You're nice and long. There you go. That's it. Press, press, press towards the wall, and then buoyantly back towards center here, towards 12 o'clock. That's it. Press, press, press. Can you feel it in the upper body, how strong that is?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's strengthening and stretching at the same time, and this is really important. We'll get into that later on when we learn more about the sequencing. Press, 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 and then back to center, and we're just gonna lean back, wiggle it to 12 o'clock, unfurl slowly, because that's such an intense sequence of intense poses, and we're gonna wash it out again with our weeping willow. Nice and easy. We have one more twist to do, and then we're going to be done with number 1. We'll do 1 and 2, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and do 3 and 4, and then we'll be basically ready for our workshop. So there's a lot of newness to these poses. So they're not necessarily difficult, it's just a lot of details. So our goal is to do less in terms of movement, but to get into all of the juicy details that are important to remember. Okay, so after weeping willow and our supported back bend, open the arms wide, take a nice big inhale, exhale, forearm press. That's our kind of, that's the movement to transition from one pose to another. And sometimes I like to just rock back and forth. We're gonna take a little pause from our twist since that was pretty intense and come into angel wings. So I'm just rocking back and forth, bending the knees. It almost looks like a low camel, right? And then I'm going to press all the way forward and come out with arms to a T, like wings. Press your pelvis forward. Press with the pelvis, lift up through your gaze. Yeah, there you go. Exhale, bend your knees, keep tension on the swing, and fly all the way back and around. Beautiful. Inhale, bend the knees, press forward. Whee! Use the momentum, you got it. Exhale, bend the knees, swim all the way back. So this is really fun, right? Especially when you get synced up with the class, coming through angel wings, bending the knees, and swimming back. Okay, good. So that's always like a nice intermission too, especially if you have a nice playful group. Everyone likes angel wings. Okay, so from center, we're gonna inhale our arms wide, back to forearm press. We're going to pick up the left knee and shoot it back behind us. We're going to come into a forward lunge. So we lunged to the sides, and now we're lunging front and back on our 12 axes, 12 and 6. And you're nice and long, so you can wiggle your toes all the way to the front to stretch out. You got it. Really good. And now I'm gonna just lift my chest and press my head back into an invisible wall and see if I can get a big arch through my upper back. Right? So that could be enough. Just pressing forward, lifting and arching, coming into a back bend and back. Keep the back toes tucked under and see how that feels. Yeah, it might be a little bit more intense on the quad. Then another version is I can hold on to the swing and straighten the front leg and lean back, right? Coming into a deeper expression. Or I can just bicep curl and come straight up and down, depending on how flexible my friends are. So some people...
And that one is your back knee lifts, so your back
bent. It's lifted but bent. Yeah, bend the back knee more. Yeah, like that.
Ooh.
Yeah. Then you get a really big arch through the upper back. Yeah. If you could try straight legs, but I think the back knee staying bent is a little bit more intense. And then if that's too much, coming into those kind of supported back bends, you can just come straight up and down into a forward lunge. So keep both knees bent at first, and then you're going to straighten both legs and lower. So you're using your arms to lift. So we do like 100 bicep curls in a class and get nice and strong. But at the same time, you're just lifting your own body weight, right? That's all we need to do is lift our own body weight to get strong. So I like that version as well, especially if people don't like the swing under the arms and they need a little break. And then the last version is chillaxin arms. Press all the way back so your chest lifts up towards the sky. Keep the back knee bent, but the front leg can start to straighten a little bit more. And it's another way of coming into a supported back bend here from a forward lunge. You got it. Yeah. Beautiful. Both legs are straight. Let's just wiggle it from side to side and change from this position. So we're going to reverse it so you can kind of see how we can switch up the order and make it interesting. We can lift the right knee and shoot it back into a lunge and just stay in a supported back bend here, right? So we're going to keep the right knee bent. Then we can reach up and hold on to the swing and arch and open, dropping the head back if the neck is comfortable. And then we're going to slowly bend the left knee, come straight up and down into our lunge, our forward lunge, and we're going to do our bicep curls. Now this one is probably going to be the easiest, right, for some beginners, because coming into big back bends can be really uncomfortable for some people. And then the last one, which I think is the hardest, is the forearm press, where you're pressing in and coming into a back bend here, but you'll get this amazing stretch through the quad. I usually like to pick the knee up just gently. So don't use your head, use your heart, right? So don't kink the neck, keep the back of the neck long, push the back of the head into an invisible wall and lift your heart. Yeah, you're gonna get such a deeper stretch through your psoas then, you feel that? Yeah, most people are just dropping their head and kinking their neck, and that obviously is gonna lead to some serious neck pain. But when we learn how to lift through our chest and rotate our sternum towards the sky, then we get this nice long opening through the front. Okay, good. All right, both legs straight. Take a moment to release the toes. That's a lot on the toes too, but really good for our feet. So recline twists. We did our side twists before, so recline twists are gonna look like this. Let's keep our forearm pressed, so open the arms wide. Exhale back to the diamond. I say diamond because a lot of people do this and cover their eyes, and you can tell that their arms are kind of limp. So really making a diamond and pressing forward is going to help to rearrange the shoulder girdle and release a lot of neck and upper back tension. So we're going to flex our toes back. I usually just wiggle it from side to side to kind of loosen up. Plus it's fun. Let's roll into the outer edge of the right? So we're going to stay right at 12 o'clock. We're going to pick up the left knee and shoot it out to 3 and 9. Good. And then from here, we're going to drop the hips straight down. So we're trying to drop our pelvis towards our vertical axes. Yes. You get, it's almost like the side body stretch, but this one adds a twist, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of intense in there.
This is just what I needed.
Good. It really is the magic formula for lower back release. Mm-hmm. Inhale, lift a little bit with the hips to come out of it. And then exhale, drop back in. just revisit it a few times, because sometimes we just need to come out of the intensity and lift up, and then exhale, drop in, and sometimes we can go a little bit deeper just by pulsing with the breath. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, drop in, relax. Beautiful. Good breathing. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down. Okay. This time we're going to inhale, lift, bring that left foot back to center. Give it a little hop or whatever you need to adjust the back, because that's pretty intense on the arms. Beautiful. I'm going to wiggle back in. I like to flex the toes back because a lot of people forget to flex the feet. I roll into the outer edge of the left, pick up the right foot, shoot it out to 9 and 3. So it's like we're making a figure 4, right? So we're stacking. And since you have a yoga background, you're stacking nicely, but you usually have to remind people of that. So a lot of times, even in my trainings, they'll be like mixed backgrounds, so I'll give a lot more detail, but you're already doing it. So you'll just notice in class, you have to tell them to stack the bones. You know what I mean? Make a right angle where the knee is directly over the ankle, and the knee is directly in alignment with the hip, as well as this hip in alignment with the ankle, right? So that's what stacked is. And we do a lot of talk about stacking in the AYRx on Sunday. Probably more than the average person wants to hear, but I am really adamant about the stacking. This is how we reduce strain in the joints and prevent injury and all that, is when we're stacking the bones so the joints are strong. Inhale, lift, come on out of it just gently. Exhale, drop back in, relax into it. And my hip bone is pointing straight down towards the center of the mat, keeping my alignment. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Very good. Inhaling, lift up. And exhale, drop it down. Yes, keeping the twist at the same time. Let's come on back to center. Oh, one last time. Weeping willow, sway from side to side, support the head with the hands. So you're going to come and pull the crown of the head towards the back top corner of the room. Instead of coming back into a U shape, keep a nice diagonal and V, so the crown of the head is lifted. So that way you're opening up the heart and not just the rib cage. There you go. All those details we are usually focused on more in the therapeutics, because in a class we don't want to overwhelm them, you know, with all the details. Give them a chance to just experience it. But alignment for keeping the head supported is so important. So until they get used to all the details, just have the head supported with the hands so there's no strain on the neck. Let's come through angel wings one more time. We're going to inhale, the arms wide, exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, swim forward, all the way to a T with the arms, T the arms. Exhale, swim back. Inhaling, bend the knees, come forward. All the way, press the hips forward. Exhale, swim back. Really good. One more time, inhale, bend the knees, press forward, using your momentum. We're gonna stay here, bend the elbows, I call it flexing, right? So we keep our hands up by our ears. We're gonna let the swing slide a little bit closer to the elbows and walk the feet wide. I usually like to bring them out till 9 and 3. So on the horizontal axes of 9 and 3. Walk them back towards the center of the mat more. There you go. 9 and 3 at the edges. Yeah, good. And now we keep our flex with our arms. We're moving into our forward folds. This is just a forward fold with our hook at the elbows. We're going to keep our chest open and our head in line with our body. We're done with number 1. So now forward fold to swing at the elbows is 2A. And this is our wide straddle, if you can see your outline. Simple wide straddle, adding a little bit of a twist and a sway from side to side. Sometimes this feels, you know, this forward fold feels good enough. I like to keep push my hips back so they're over my ankle bones. And sometimes I'll have to come forward and back a few times to get people to know what that means. And since you were focusing on that earlier, I was just liking to give those cues. Just make sure the hip bones come back and so they're in alignment with the ankles. Turn the feet out just slightly, toes in. And then we're going to come into a twist. So let's keep the right hand exactly where it is. Left hand is going to flip down towards the ground, right underneath the gaze, like a football stance. Make a fist with your right hand and pull it towards your sternum as you twist and look up towards the sky. Take a nice big inhale and lengthen the spine. Exhale, look down. Let's do that a few times. Inhale, lengthen and twist. Yeah, Yeah, strong arm. Exhale, look down, relax. Inhale, lengthen, open it up. Exhale, looking down. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Twist. Exhale, look down. We're gonna let the right arm straighten. Keep holding on to the swing. Let it slide into your hand. Okay, we're gonna rotate it overhead. So there's gonna be a twist in the swing when you come around. Once you get a twist in front of you, thread both hands through, interlace the fingers. Now we're gonna hang with straight arms, keep the head above the hands, keep the head above the biceps. Unless it feels uncomfortable, and then you can bend the elbows. I like to do straight arms because it's a little bit stronger, but you can always bend the elbows if the shoulders don't love it, okay? So wherever you are, straight arms are bent, press, 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 lift the chest, and then exhale, just come down a little bit, let's say halfway, and then inhale, press, 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 and lift. We're straightening and strengthening the arms here, preparing us to do some of the more dynamic poses like Superfly tomorrow. But first we have to get the underbelly of the arms working and the shoulder joints nice and strong before we support our own body weight. So this is one of the minor, we'll just say more beginner level strengthening exercises we do. Yeah, we're keeping the back flat, nice and long. Then we're gonna press, 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 come all the way up, unthread the left hand, bring it behind you and then overhead. Keep your right hand in there. Left arm comes overhead, and then bend the elbow, hook, and then drop down. So the right hand is now right underneath the gaze. Yeah, that's our change. Change in sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Pull your fist towards your sternum. Look up towards the sky. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, look down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Yeah, that looks great. Really use your arms here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, look down. Inhaling, lift and twist. Exhale, lower your gaze. Pause. Inhale, lift. There you go, twist. So exhale, lower down, straighten the top arm. Okay, hold on to the swing with your hand. So we let our fingers grip, and then we're gonna rotate it overhead. There's no X this time. Now we bend the elbows, right? And we're gonna play a little bit with side to side and coming into some lunges before we do our arm presses. And this is just a nice intermission to play and explore and just check it out. So there's lots of different variations we can do. We can also rotate a little bit from side to side. Add the circles and side to side and twists whenever possible. That's all the different variations we can do in all the poses. That looks great. And then we're gonna come back through center. Keep your ears above your biceps, right? So this way we don't strain the shoulders. We're gonna straighten the arms as we come up. Press, 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 press. And then exhale, lower. We're gonna use our arms to lift us. If we use our back, it's really easy. If we use our arms, it's really hard. If people are just like doing this, you're like, okay, you're just using your back. Try to keep your body heavy and then use your arms to press and lift. Press, 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 press. Strengthen and lengthen. Good, exhale, lower. One more, press, press, press. We're gonna come all the way up. Press, 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 and lift. Good job. Okay. So that's kind of our warm-up for the forward folds. Then we're going to come to stand, coming to the center of the mat. Use our alignment right at our AYRx logo. And now in forward folds, we're going to switch it up. In the, I call them upright positions. In number one, the upright positions, the swing is behind the back, underneath the arms. For number two, the swing is going to be at the hips and in front of us. So what I like to do is give people lots of variations. So if they're feeling uncomfortable, which happens when they're trying something new and hanging by their armpits, you can just switch it up and have them hang by their hips. So usually we do upper body, lower body, lower body, kind of like back and forth. So you doing good? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I'm going to index this so you can find 2B with ease. And the videos aren't super long. So let's just take a little pause.